Good morning, girls. Come to your ugly Uncle Alex. Subscribe here at YouTube and join us at alexbelfield.com. Shut up, I'm talking. We're OFCOM free, we're not PC, and there's no BS. I'm going to feed my duckies. We'll filibuster for a few seconds. The only way for the proper news, unedited, unfiltered, and uncensored, is at alexbelfield.com. 6 a.m., 30 to 40 minutes of the 30 biggest stories. Play the jingle, Tarquin.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Then he created man and woman and dogs. Lots of things were built, destroyed, rebuilt, flooded, and built again. Then, Alex Belfield was born, forced to pleasure his majesty. Keys were thrown away, lost, found again, and placed in a holding pen. Today, Alex continues to annoy medicated lefties and supercilious fartheads all over the world by telling the truth. Now, the overnight sensation after 30 years and star of stage, screen, and his mother's back bedroom is back. God's greatest gift to free speech, humanity, and the probation service complaints department is Alex Belfield, the voice of reason.
What a week it's been. You know, the hypocrisy we've seen this week is somewhat delicious to me. I find it great karma because it just proves that these sanctimists who try and pretend they're holier than thou and better than us, in fact, are more flawed and more contemptuous of the system than the rest of us put together. I love that in Keir Starmer's autobiography, he says he'll have no shenanigans and he will get rid of anyone who breaks the rules. Well, go on then, get rid of her.
Tarquin, it's not going to plan. We're just 40 subscribers off 347,000 subs. Please hit that button. It makes a big difference. Dottie would be over the moon. Look at her.
Of course, Keir Starmer did not sack Angelica Growler. He let her resign so that everybody feels as if they've won and had a victory. Well, nobody's won in this because we have a government who are untenable because we now know that their parliamentarians, who are utterly sanctimonious, are in fact completely untrustworthy and duplicitous and will blame their own lawyers who then throw them under the bus. That's the delicious thing, that of course they've eaten themselves alive and finally the chickens have come home to roost. But what have we got instead? Well, we've got David Lammy, who is to intellect what Katie Price is to fidelity.
It's probably the case that only that trans women don't have ovaries, but a cervix, I understand, is something that you can have following various procedures and hormone treatment and all the rest.
Of course, when he went on Mastermind, he just came across as an enormous imbecile.
What was the married name of the scientists Marie and Pierre who won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1903 for their research into radiation?
Antoinette.
Curie. James Gandolfini played a mafia boss called Tony in which American television series?
Godfather.
The Sopranos. Which variety of blue English cheese traditionally accompanies port?
Leicester.
Stilton. Who acceded to the English throne at the age of 9 on the death of his father Henry VIII in 1547?
Henry VII.
Edward VI. In chemistry.
If I were you, David, I'd give up on Mastermind and go on Master Chef. I think you'd be marvellous putting the holes in the donuts. I think your master baking skills would outweigh your intelligence. What a fart head. Anyway, that's not why you called. We've got other changes in the Home Office with Shamima Mahood, who's put me in a very bad mahood this morning as she has gone from being the head of the prisons and the justice system, yes, the Lord Chancellor, to being head of the Home Office. Oi, vey and Kishaman took us. I think this is going to be a very long 3 years.
It's very interesting as I have my daily walk to just be free of the toxicity of the world, the news, the phone, all the stuff that comes with it, that we look around and we see there are so many glorious things happening. This week I went to the producers in London. I laughed for 2.5 hours. We've got to do that. We've got to laugh. Somebody just said to me, why did you spend 4 hours yesterday making that 10 minutes of nonsense with Angelica Growler? I did it because I think we need to laugh. You can't keep being pounded by this negativity and toxicity of the world. On Sunday, they're going to do this emergency alarm to scare people. In the same month when they told us that they're building fatality tents. They're like those Mary Nightingale centres they built during COVID. You remember when they wanted us all to believe that we're all going to be dead. Next week's going to be very interesting because RFK Jr. is going to pull the plug on the nonsense over the jab and what happened during the COVIDs and the Kung Flu. And he does that in honour of all the people who have paid a medical price for the greed of world leaders who have profited massively. If these stats are true, my God, what a world we're living in when you could make money out of a global pandemic. Can you imagine such an odious thing to happen? I'm not one to moan, but these people who did that really should be ashamed of themselves. Right, I've waffled enough. Thank you to everybody who's bought the book. We're on pallet 3. We'll be sending out more next week. We have another batch arriving shortly. And my Surviving the Slammer has still not had a legal letter to say it is banned, so it is still on sale.
I've been banned, of course, from the Reform Party conference today. I would have been going to Birmingham. Yo, all right, to you, but I'm banned if I go there. I will go back to prison, a bit like if next Saturday, a week today, I go for a bit of freedom. If I enter London, I will be recalled and go back to prison. Welcome to North Korea, my friends. I think it's going very well.
Right, that's it from me. Where's she gone? There she is, up there. Here's your news. It's quite long, 17 minutes, but this week I've done 40 minutes, 38 minutes, 34 minutes, 42 minutes, etc., etc. 6 days, 40 minutes news at alexbelfield.com. You can join us in the morning live at 6 o'clock for the breaking news around the world, the 30-plus biggest stories, and the phone-in is back Sunday from 9. Right, here we go then, with your best of the week from the madness of the news.
We will begin, of course, naturally, with Angelica Growler. I said she'd resign yesterday, and of course she did. She is curtains. She's finished. She's gone. She had to go. She had no choice. Cheerio, dear. Cheerio. And she's off. She's got some new biscuits, though, by the way. Some new the people online are very, very, very clever. Our friend Paul James sent me this. The niece of Angelica Growler, letting us know what really happened.
By gum, hey up chunky, it me baby Rayner reporting on the voice of reason to tell you what happened to my big wobbly auntie Angie. Let me put this on the record and cassette. My auntie with the ginger growler did not resign from her job. I heard her on the phone and she said she got the tin tack. She said she had started playing the violin, or what was it? Oh yes, I was on the fiddle.
Apparently, she might earn up to £160,000 on OnlyFans if she gets her knockers out quickly. I don't think anybody needs to see those shrivel old dangling mammary glands now, do we? She didn't get tax advice, by the way, just to be clear. She didn't have any tax advice, they say. That's why she had to go. I think she may find herself on street corners under certain under certain signs in Amsterdam, having the time of her life. Her letter, though, was quite embarrassing, Tarquin. Show them the letter. We're working well this morning. I'm liking this. She, of course, is bred. She had to go, and she's off. And it's just great, isn't it, to see how quickly you can go from being the bee's knees to being gone. And thereby the grace of God of those who point fingers and say, I am better than you, I'm untouchable. No, you are not. I love this article that was written before she was gone by a lefty namby-pambo pinko liberal Guardian reading champagne sipping oyster eating negaman shushy type who believes that men fantasize about Angela Growler and they fear her at the same time, which is why she is so potent to the penis. Well, I can assure you in my case, my penis has never been more limp thinking about Angela Rayner. We've got Keir Cars, as you heard in that song. He's doing marvellous. Bit of graffiti, though, unfortunately, on the roads. Very unfortunate, this. I don't know what's more offensive, this art of Mr. Keir Carstoma or indeed the Nonce Factory statue by Eric Gill, who raped his 2 daughters and the family dog. You decide. This is the most disgusting story. Perceived nuisance is what Ed KC said about rape. And I just want you to see how lefty lawyers who are on that side, i.e. defending rapists, paedophiles, and that scum-sucking pond life entity, will privately describe, or even publicly. On record, this guy said, a perceived nuisance. Now, what he means by that is that any woman that is sexually assaulted, grabbed, followed, touched, should expect a nuisance. That's what I read into this. He's saying, he's downplaying the risk that women are at. Just so you know. Perceived nuisance. Wow, my perceived nuisance landed me in jail for 5.5 years. They were very quick to stop that nuisance, weren't they? Trump cancels the £5 billion foreign aid budget. I love this story because it just shows where we're at. Bravo to Trump. bravo for saying Indigenous people first. Trump gets it. Indigenous people first is the priority of all great presidents. And you set the precedence with the president by putting your people first. Little Keir Starmer should remember that. Here's Keir Starmer. I haven't actually got a figurine of him, so this one I'll have to do. I don't like, by the way, how the press at the moment are trying to imply that Donald is not well and on his deathbed. If he is, it's none of your business for a start. When he was little Joe Biden, do you remember Sleepy Joe? Oh, you couldn't talk about anything or you were outrageous. When it's Trump, it seems it's absolutely fine. Once again, the double standards. He is having a reshuffle, as you heard, and he talks about confidence and conviction. We don't need any more convictions, thank you, from your government. You piece of work. They want to be more powerful. I think we need you to be less powerful. We need you to have less influence and less power, as I will prove in a moment, as a reform lady has suddenly been whisked off to the police station, arrested for sticking up a flag. I just want to draw your attention to a bit of the reshuffle, if I may. We've got Darren Jones coming in. Now, Darren Jones has been promoted, and he's the man who said it is mainly children, women and babies who are on the boats. Well, we know that's absolute horseshit, as at least 75% of them are fighting army aged 25 to 35-year-olds. So you can fuck right off with that one. As you see in this, Darren has been promoted, a very interesting choice. What is curious, though, about little Rachel Reeves and her bob, which seems to be very popular. The bob is something that Phillipson also has, the bob, and little Greta Thunberg, she also has the bob. So the bob is very in at the moment. They are busy bobbing and jogging. Artificial grass is going to give you cancer. Everything's going to give you... Oh, by the way, let's look at this story about COVID-19 and the cancer, multiple cancers, Tarquin. Multiple cancers. Make sure this is clipped for me, please. Multiple cancers. So we're worrying in this country about artificial grass giving you cancer, but we're not making not many headlines about COVID-19 giving multiple cancers in a global investigation. The conjoined twins. This is interesting. Now, this is a nice story when you want to think about gynecological matters. Now, I have never been with a conjoined twin, right? But I presume what normally happens is, despite there being two heads, so imagine, Tarquin, right? You've got Gladys here, and then there's Fanny here, right? So you're stopping them in the bedroom. Ooh. I mean, a proper good, right, I mean, not trap two, but I mean, a really good ooh. And you've got two faces facing you, but only one private part. Now, show them the picture again, Tarquin, because this young man really is brave. I mean, this is something out of the Barnum Circus. So I would like to congratulate this young man and give him the clap, because to stop two heads and one vagina, I think really is a thing of beauty. But that's not why you called. It turns out they've been photographed, the two lady heads, with just the two legs, with, they don't have three legs, like Jake, do they? Jake, we can't sing that anymore, not after you, Tree. They've been photographed with a baby. So, I mean, this is marvellous. Two mothers. I mean, this is the LGBTQ plus 69S dream. Can't do jokes about that. The armed officers might come and arrest me. Angelica Growler. Okay, so Keir Carr's at the point we're taping this says absolutely nothing. He is such a snake, this guy. He is king of the weasels. He is able to do interviews and literally say nothing. Watch this.
Irrespective of the ethics advisor's conclusions, is it tenable for a housing secretary caught in a housing tangle to carry on as housing secretary? Well, that's a political judgment.
I do think in the end we need to establish the facts, which the independent advisor will do, and come to a conclusion.
And if you want to know the hypocrisy of this woman when she was a lot slimmer and younger, look what she says here about how you need to have ethics.
Holding any position in public life should mean upholding the highest standards of ethics and integrity. But the cronyism sleaze and scandal we've seen over the past decade has undermined trust in politics and public life at home and abroad.
In the newspapers, Keir is saying he will act. Act on what? What are you going to actually do? That's what we want to know. We want to find out what you're going to get up to and what you're actually going to sort out with this woman who has admitted she's had jiggery-pokery, argy-bargy, and a kochmimi scheme. That's actual Yiddish. Kochmimi. I like it. We were just talking about Radio 2. Rylan, of course, is going through the shit at the minute, being cancelled. I just want to send him our solidarity. He's absolutely right what he said about the dinghy divers. And, of course, the lefties, those mainly who work on Lorraine and Loose Women and all those dreadful daytime shows, will say he's appalling and how dare he. He's absolutely right. And I'm sure his dear friend Eamon will be patting him on the back. Got to hold your nerve during times like that, my friend. I've been through many, many media shitstorms, and you just have to just ride the storm. I know the public is behind you, and they are. They are absolutely behind you. This story is enough to make your piss boil, Tarquin. This is typical of what we're reading across the media. That Ofsted say that a school is too white and it has been punished because it is not diverse enough. Sorry, if you're in certain communities where there are not many people of colour, how can you be punished for not having people who don't exist? What kind of a fucking country do we live in where Ofsted have such ridiculous algorithms that part of the box ticking by the civil serpents is, are there people in burqas? Are there people in hijabs? And are there people reading the Quran facing the wall on a mat during lunchtime? And if the answer's now, you get a big fail. We have got lots going on with the economy, and unfortunately it's all bad. Angela Rayner, this is the Angelica lady, the growler, uncrossy leg lady for Boris, says that she needs her privacy. No, my darling, no. You don't get privacy when you don't pay, or you avoid, or you try to deflect from things that you should have paid or might have paid if you hadn't have been you. With your little 3 pads. I remember 3 Jags, don't you? Well, now we've got 3 pads, 3 pads Rayner. I love this. This is the gift that keeps giving. And what they do, the lefties, is just mock Trump. Listen, at least he's absolutely transparent that he's a businessman who's out to be rich and to get richer. The absolute hypocrisy of Phillipson, of your lady Angelica Growler, and of course Keir Cars with his new man Darren. Wow, what a bunch of characters. The world has gone mad and free speech is under attack like it never has been before. I have seen what Graham Linehan has done, and as far as I can see, he made a couple of jokes. And what it seems to be now is that you can't make jokes, especially if it's about people who are trans, for example. I see this little screen grab came across my little eyeballs yesterday about fascism. And these 2 very wonderful looking, gorgeous, tremendous people who look absolutely normal and brilliant, they say that they are anti-fascism and anti-Tommy Robinson's parade on the 13th of September, which I am officially banned from. So that's great. I'm officially banned. Not nearly a little bit, but officially. Tomorrow, absolutely, I could go to London. Today, I can go to London. Next week, I go, but not on the 13th. And they're not willing to put it in writing. It's hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. I just want to give you the migrant numbers. So we've got the most peculiar thing, 3,567 migrants in and 0 returned. What happened to 1 in and 1 out, please, Keir Cars? You weren't just talking crap now, were you? You said 1 in, 1 out. Why haven't 3,567 fuck right off? It's a very simple question by a very simple broadcaster. The BBC are sticking by their cocaine shame. Yes, they say, oh no, we're not changing anything. No, we're sticking by. Oh, okay. That's what they do now. They just bury their heads in the sand. This man wants to bury his legs in the sand. £466,000 compensation for a surgeon who cut off his own legs. At the point you're so desperate for a few quid, you're willing to chop your legs off for $500,000. I would say let him keep it. I mean, this is not a smart move, now is it? I mean, for a start, when the police come to arrest you for fraud, you can't run off. I just want to do a bit of prison stuff because I can't move on from this week's story that they threatened to recall me over with the murder of the man at Foss Way. They have said that I have correctly named him, but they just don't like it, and they said I've caused serious harm by doing so. Okay. This prison meme says it all. I mean, these days you go, you can go in for murder and also for painting a roundabout. And we've got some video of roundabouts coming up in a bit. Don't you worry about that. Deaths rose in prison by a third, by the way. I can count 4 this week that I've Googled. One is a good one because that was a pedo that has gone. The tragedy of the IPP man. And you'll read in my book about IPP, this indefinite sentence that Blunkett came up with. So many suicides. So many people have ended up sectioned under the Mental Health Act or killed themselves. And it's outrageous that you could get 2 or 3 years and 20 years later you're still in prison. And that's what many of them have. IPP, Google it. It's outrageous. I want to talk about little Ed Miliband and what's going on with him, because it seems that the whole thing is collapsing over the credibility of net zero and the impact that it's having on our lives. As we know, the government are just loving to tax us left, right and centre, morning, noon and night. But I just want to make you aware that what Miliband is doing, as you can see in the article here, is absolutely transparent. That this is all gaslighting. I like that phrase because it just means ghosting is to basically do what they're doing to me at probation, which is say something and then deny they ever said it and then project it on you and pivot to the point where it's all your fault. So everything's our fault. The world is on its knees because it's our fault, despite 99% of the world's issues having absolutely nothing to do with us. And the truth being, even if we change 100% to do what this man wants, it would still be 99.9% ridiculously impossible to change 0.1% of the rest of it, because we're so small. They seem to forget that little England, right, the United Kingdom, is merely a pimple on the arse of the world. We're not even a piss in the pool of the ocean. Can I think of any more, Tarquin? Falkirk Hotel, they've got problems, lots of flag wavers there, and in Epping it is literally on the brink. We can see that, can't we? That this is the temperature rising, the patient's getting low, according to my sensors. The people of flying flags will go, but tonight for the first time, just about 9 o'clock, I'm sick of politicians saying, take down your flag, they are a big, great big hairy cock. I just ad-libbed that. It's not written down. No, it's not on the script. We have got flag news all over, and the most important one is that Sarah, I believe her name to be Sarah White, is a reform lady from GB News. Look there. She does a lot on there, and she has been arrested for sticking up a flag, which is absolutely right, of course, if you are arrested for putting up a flag at Epping, at the council house there, providing, of course, the same is done to those who are sticking up the Palestinian flags. Yeah, you can't have the double entendre, the sort of innuendo that it's okay to have one flag that might be controversial, but not another one which isn't controversial, because in fact it is the flag of the fucking nation to which it's being flown. Can we get this straight? You can't be offended unless you're an imbecile by the national flag of the country you're living in. Rachel Reeves, little Bob lady, has managed to do a phenomenal job of destroying everything. We're now at a 27-year high of borrowing. Now, to you and I, it won't make any difference, and it really doesn't matter. But what it means in the bigger picture is the more borrowing there is, the more they're going to stop us to get that money back in other ways. So in other words, that you're going to get less and less services. I've never known the roads more crap, yet they seem to be digging up everything everywhere and then just leaving it. I've never seen so many. I want to get into mobile traffic lights. That's what I want to get into, Tarquin. Never mind this shite talking on here. I want to be making green lights, yellow lights and red lights, because I'm telling you, they're all over everywhere. Every road's got 6 of them working, doing nothing. This figure is probably the most depressing, the most sad, and the most revealing that I've ever given. There are 2 child rapes by grooming gangs every single day in this country. Now, let me tell you what that really means. So let's agree then, there's about 800 a year, at least. And these are the ones we know of rapes of children by mainly Muslim Pakistani men, okay? That's 800 families destroyed forever. Be under no delusions. Now, that's been going on for 20 or 30 years. You don't need to be Albert Einstein to work out the maths. And yet, this is a country that can spare 5 armed guards to arrest Graham that lands him in hospital. It's bonkers. Eamon Holmes is back in the headlines. They love to pound Eamon, don't they? I think Eamon's probably the only man other than me who nobody will write a single good word about. It's like a sport to have a go at Eamon. And apparently he spent a lot of money on his girlfriend. And I say the same thing again. Mind your own fucking business. What Eamon spends his money on is nobody's business. He's been in this business for a long time. 40, 50, probably 75 years, judging by the look of him. He's so exhausted because he has to keep tweeting back to all the fucking morons that want to know about his private life. Leave him alone.